Welcome, everybody, into another episode of NFL Draft Live, where we actually don't have a combine record, and we'll get to that in a moment here. But what a wild first night of the combine. Jake Shavink here. Nate Williamson will be along shortly. But yeah, we're going to recap the first night of the combine. This is not the normal studio, but we make do, and we're rolling. This was quite a night. We're going to get to the receivers. I want to talk quickly about the tight end group as well. But I will say to start things off, Baylor wide receiver Taekwon Thornton, who had ran a 4.21 unofficial 40-yard dash, is now a 4.28. The timer, for some reason, was way off tonight for that second group that had a lot of studs in terms of timing. And Taekwon Thornton was happened to be one of them tonight, and we'll get to the few others. But I want to start with the tight end group really quick from the first day, and it was a good tight end group. There weren't a lot of top guys that ran, and you saw guys like Trey Mcbride, who I think a lot of people thought, yeah, he's probably going to skip the run. Isaiah Likely not running was kind of odd. I thought he was going to be in the low 4.5s, even if he ran, maybe even faster than that. Jalen Weidermeyer does not run as well. Pretty shocking. Obviously, Jeremy Ruckert wasn't going to do really anything at the combine, so that's unfortunate. But I do think there were a couple winners, obviously. I think Jelani Woods is the big winner at the tight end position. A 6'7", 259-pound guy running a 4.61. That's huge. That's a big deal. And it's not going to be like, this guy's jumping into the second round or anything like that, but the tools are intriguing, and, that's going to make more people fly to the Virginia tape and say, okay, I'm going to check this guy out and see what is there really there to take a look at. And Chigoziem Okonkwo was the other one that had a big day, obviously running in the low 4.5s, and he's again going to be a move tight end. You're going to get him the ball and let him work after the catch with that speed he has. So the tight end group wasn't, overwhelming. Greg Dulcich did a lot of what people thought, okay, that was pretty good. Obviously, Daniel Jeremiah is number one tight end. Thought he did pretty good in the gauntlet. He ran okay. The official time, I think, was a little bit lower than the 4.61 that was reported right away, but still a good day for him. Trey Mcbride, obviously, in the blocking sled drill looked impressive, and looked impressive catching the ball. That's not shocking. That's like the tape with him supersedes anything we were going to see in terms of testing with Trey Mcbride. But Daniel Bellinger also feels like a big winner from this week. And, with what he ran, especially like that was a impressive 40 he runs. And then top that off, and he looks great in the drills. Obviously was a great inline blocker at San Diego State. So there's all of those things. He put together a great week, and there's going to be a lot of teams that say, okay, I need this guy to work in line for me. I want that extra guy in there blocking. When we're in 11, when we're in 12, this is the guy I want next to the tackle to help me out in the run game, especially. And that's a big deal. And Braden, I totally agree. I think the draft class continuously boosts their stock, and, they were really exciting. We're going to get into the receivers now, and Mason Thompson is actually going to join me here. How's it going, man? How you doing?
Good. Just got done taking a shower, ready to talk some draft.
Yeah, well, I kind of recapped a little bit of the tight ends really quick. Was there anyone who really stood out to you other than maybe, Quanko running that great 40, which again, at his size, you kind of expect to see that from what the tape showed. But is there anybody that stood out maybe that wasn't like the initial guys like McBride in the workouts?
I would Jelani Woods.
Yeah.
That's Jelani
Of course.
Woods. Yeah.
Of course.
Anytime you lead
tools.
Yeah, he's what was it, 24, 25, 26, somewhere around there in bench
Oh,
reps?
yeah. I think it was 24. I think it's 24. I think you were right. Pretty sure it's 24.
And then he runs a 4.61, and then he just completely moves that sled when he's trying to do the blocking drill and everything, and just made everything look easy.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to get into some thoughts on the receivers now. I don't know if you heard, Mason. There's not a new record. We don't have a new record.
No, I just saw those numbers.
Those new numbers come in, but they're with actually one of the Ohio State receivers who we'll get to. But I do want to talk about Taekwon Thornton quickly, just because I think you know, we talked, a lot of people talked about this. A lot of analysts talked about, hey, the Baylor guys are going to, they're track studs. They're going to run well. And Thornton pulls out a 4.21 unofficial. The world goes nuts, obviously. But the official time, 4.28, that's pretty darn good in its own right, especially for a guy his size.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't done as much studying as I should on Thornton. Obviously, that's a day 3 guy, not a big really name other than today.
Yeah.
Basic NFL media will be like, whoa, who's this guy?
Yep. No
and start
doubt.
doing the research on him as he runs an unofficial 4.21. But when someone does that, a lot of people obviously do more film watching on him. So
yes, definitely. I mean, overall, I think, again, he's got the long wiry frame. Again, it's not the biggest, but like catch radius, you know, go get the football in the air type of player who's got some, obviously some juice. That's for sure a day 3 flyer for a lot of teams. I think everybody wants to talk about this guy. I know it wasn't the 4.26, and it's so unfortunate. That time was nuts. It seemed a little bit like out of the blue, like that was a weird time. Wasn't expecting that. A lot of people thought, oh, this will be like, you know, low 4.4s, high 4.3s.
Yeah.
The official time for Chris Olave is now a 4.39, which is darn good in its own right. But I think there are a lot of people who, because I think there's some splitting. I don't know if you've seen it as much. I think there's some splits with him. Like there's a lot of people who are like, okay, this guy's firmly top 5. There's some who say this guy is better than Garrett Wilson at almost everything. And then there are those who say, no, this guy's not even top 7, top 10.
I've seen some
in the class as well. I've seen some wide receiver 11s, to each their own. But the 4.39 Mesa, on top of everything that he does, reliable hands, all the little things as a separator at all 3 levels. Was this just really it for you? The 4.39, even not even the 4.26, just a confirmation that, yeah, this guy's a deep threat too. And he's got all the little things. Round 1, stamp him in.
Yeah, I would say definitely round 1 stamped. Obviously, you know, Chris really wants him in Green Bay. Really wants him.
The 4.26 to a 4.39 might help that a little bit now.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Yeah, hopefully. But yeah, it's Olave's that perfect complementary number 2 guy, depending on what happens with Devontae Adams. It depends on which team, obviously. I had him going to New Orleans in my latest mock. I think that would be really good as well with Michael Thomas coming back. But he's just that all-around, doesn't really do anything spectacular, just all-around good receiver. So.
Yeah, I agree. I like him a ton. So I'm not really sure what the wide receiver 11 talk is, if it's like weird late breakout stuff, or I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen some of that. The fantasy community's kind of diving into the NFL draft community, kind of morphs into one. It's just kind of
I understand from the perspective on Olave where it's like, okay, this isn't a wide receiver 1 in your offense. He's not going to be the true X or anything like that, like a George Pickens or a Drake London or anything, but like this is going to be an elite wide receiver 2 for anybody. Like you said, the Saints, oh man, with Michael Thomas, a healthy Michael Thomas. Man, I hope they have someone throwing the football well enough, because that'll be a good offense, right? Honestly, they probably should at this point.
That's what I'll probably
be. Braden, I agree. I think he kind of surprised Kevin Austin from Notre Dame.
Yeah.
That was a nice number to start things off after, I believe, after Calvin Austin went, which was
I saw Austin. I immediately thought of Calvin Austin. I was like, wait, that's news.
But
slightly.
Calvin Austin,
yeah.
But Kevin Austin's interesting. Yeah, I mean, these Notre Dame guys with some these Notre Dame guys got that athleticism. Just they just shine in these moments. Chase Claypool shined. Yeah. Miles Boykin shined back in the day. Not saying, hey, I'm just saying that they shine at the combine. That's what it is. So hey, but Olave, I'm fully there. Mason, do you have him? Do you have the full wide receiver rankings done? Do you have a slot that you have him confirmed right now, or no?
I probably 3 or 4 for me right now.
Okay. For me, I've hard pressed he's going to move off 3, I think, for me. I think it's probably going to be 3. But there we go. 2 guys who see him pretty similar, I think. Let's talk about this guy too. Obviously, there were a lot of questions. There were a lot of comments on a guy like Garrett Wilson as a TikTok route runner. To me, that's utter nonsense. Watch what Justin Jefferson and Stephon Diggs do on a weekly basis. If you want to comment on TikTok route running, whatever. I don't get it. I listen, if it's for engagement, fine, do that. I don't care. But like, man, I know the explosion was a little underwhelming because we've seen him almost jump over a Clemson corner in a playoff game, basically, to go get a football. That was a little shocking. But then his official time is faster than Olave's at 4.38.
I mean,
just saying.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I thought Wilson would be a little bit faster, but the Olave thing with the 4.26 just coming out of nowhere, it was just like, okay, what is happening with this whole entire
I don't know what
and everything
happened there.
Because like everybody was running low 4.3s, high 4.2s, and then I mean Wilson, I think where's Wilson for you, 1 or 2?
1.
Okay. So I mean Burks was number 1 for me coming in, but I don't know I don't think it really changes much because it's a vertical for him.
Here we go.
Know. Yeah.
We'll just go right into it with Treylon Burks because he's my 2 coming in. I'm not moving off that. I think people were like, even in the fantasy community a little bit, and I respect the fantasy community. They do great stuff.
Yeah.
I think they were kind of expecting this, like, okay, this guy might DK Metcalf the combine, which, again, the acceleration and the build-up speed after the catch is very, very good. But, like, he's got to get there. The flying 20 was a lot of the respected analysts like Brugler and Zerline and some of these guys were talking about with the last 20 of the 40 are going to be good.
Yeah.
Because you could see him stumble out of that block when he was running, and it doesn't look comfortable for him.
No,
running in that type of scenario. So I really don't. The 4.5 is fine.
Yeah, I think it's huge. Yeah, I mean, a big thing for me is it's game speed is a lot different than just short speed. Absolutely. You don't have somebody chasing you down at the combine, so it doesn't give off that in-game scenario, in my opinion, when you will be running faster, it seems. So
the only thing chasing you are the takes at the combine. That's all that's chasing you when you're running the 40, really. I think Burks is fine. The jumps were a little odd to me, though, for Burks. I was not expecting him to jump the vertical that Jack Cohn jumps.
Yeah.
That was odd.
Didn't David Bell also do 33?
Yeah. I think he did. Yeah. I'm pretty sure he did. So, I mean, hey, we can talk David Bell. That was an unexpected, I don't think, which is another conversation. But I do think, again, when you look at Burks, I just think people are overthinking. Yeah. I think there are people are like, 4.3s, and let's see it. Let's see a big dude run 4.3s. And it's like, no, we're not going to get a DK every time. But let's talk about this guy he's a player. We'll talk about Christian Watson. Ooh, hello. Welcome to the show. I mean, in terms of the process itself, is there a bigger winner? Because I don't think so.
I think if there is another one that he's even in the conversation, I think it's Alec Pierce, which I'm guessing we'll get to in a bit.
Yep, we will get to him, yes.
Watson, I got a lot of slack for having him at 32 to Detroit in my mock. Everyone's like, he's not going that high. He'll barely make it round 2.
Sure.
I'm like, hold off. And then he comes in an 11-foot. Was it over 11 or was it 11 exact?
I think it's 11-1, right? Or was it 11-4? It's a number. I'm going to look it up.
Yeah.
But like, listen, here it is. I got Kent's numbers here. 6'4", 208, 11-4 in the broad, which is a 99th percentile. It goes 90% on the vert with 38.5.
Do they have his
4.28U was the unofficial? I think the official's 4.36 now, which is still for a guy who's 6'4", 208 is stupid still. It's still stupid. Like, I don't know how much that affects the RAS, because with that 4.28, he was at a 10. He was a 100 percentile athlete for a receiver. I don't know if it's going to stay at that, but
I think it'll probably go down to like a 9.8 or something.
9.98 maybe, or 9.9. Still ridiculous. Like, you see the speed on tape. Go ahead.
Have you been seeing the PFF mocks where people are getting him in like the 5th round?
Yeah. So that's what's funny. Well, yeah, that's funny, because I feel like after the Senior Bowl, it was like, he's probably not getting out of round 2 even. like, because again, when you look at his process, it was like, okay, you see this guy, and I remember Owen Reese, I think
Yeah.
he was the guy who said it in like, I think December, right? Is it like December?
Wait, what are you gonna say?
Somebody
Like
who talked about Christian Watson in December and
in
said,
the
this
first
guy's
round?
not in the first round. He just said, listen, this dude's nowhere near high enough where everybody's talking about him at the moment. I think it was Owen Reese, or was it not Owen Reese?
It was Owen, and then I know Brett Coleman brought him into the first round conversation in February.
Okay. Yeah, so I remember Owen talking about it, and then I went to go watch a little bit, and I was like, hello, this guy's got speed, and he's tall. What is going on? Why is he at this school? And then, of course, all the flexibility concerns, can he separate one-on-ones concerns? He went in and just dusted guys. Now, I'm not saying he was perfect, but he dusted guys. There's still, catch point issues, I think, which kind of highlighted some at the Senior Bowl in the red zones. And he's a bit of a clapper sometimes on tape, which is a little. Why is this guy literally MVS? But really, but no, he can win underneath a little, quite a bit better. At least the Senior Bowl proved that. Then he comes in and does this, and it might be a 99th percentile athlete. Like, are you kidding?
It's insane. It's like,
what do you even
who's
say?
A receiver? Who's the last small school receiver to really do this? Cooper Kupp?
I guess, yeah, I guess so. And he still went in the third.
Yeah.
So
I don't think there's no way that. I was really tempted to post something on Twitter and just like retweet some of these PFF mocks that have him going in the fifth, because it's every single PFF mock.
What's funny about those PFF mocks is they still have Jarrett Patterson in them.
Yeah.
That's what's funny about the PFF mock. They got to update that.
I see him in the fifth round. I'm like, he's not gonna
make it even the third. And I think on YouTube, for those who are watching here, I put out a 3-round mock, and I think I had him in the third to Pittsburgh. Yeah. That's not happening now. No. If you're a Pittsburgh fan and watching this, it's not happening anymore. You better do it in the second round, if even that. 28 ? Packers fans?
I would say yes, depending on who's on the board.
Okay.
That's a big
Watson to the Bears, smiley face. I think we're going to talk about another guy who's going to be a Bear potentially in a moment here, but I think it's a little rich for me personally, because I think he's a Z.
Yeah,
I think you could get on top of it.
I think you could get a value in round 2 still.
Yep.
But I think it just depends on who's on the board. For me, I could maybe see a trade down.
Yeah, if you trade down like a decent handful of spots.
Maybe, let's say, Giants pick in the second round. What is that, like 40?
36, 37,
like that. Yeah.
36, 37, move down 8-9 spots, pick up some extra stuff and take it.
If they get antsy on a quarterback.
Yeah, someone's going to get antsy, I think, whether it be, and Washington's moved up. They moved up, 22 spots, 18 spots for Sweat?
Was that? Yeah, because they had to give him a future second. Yeah.
Yeah, they give up a lot to move up. They moved up a ton for that. If they don't take a quarterback at 11, that's another one that the Packers fans could say, okay, they may move up a ton, and you're sitting back there like, I think 42.
Yeah,
which is where they're at. That would be a great spot for them.
That's aggressive.
That is it for the Bears.
Yeah, that's aggressiveness for a quarterback.
So
next
I don't know.
Year 2 plus like 4 or 5 if they really get aggressive enough.
Yeah, for tools, I assume. Yeah. If Ritter falls, that's probably the guy. I would assume.
What did the official time for Ritter come out?
I thought so. I was it not just 4-5?
Okay.
I don't know if it's official or not.
I saw that was 4-4-9-4-5, something like that. I was just like, okay.
I still see 4-4-9-U. I don't know.
Yeah.
If they have that coming in, but that was nuts. Quick move away from the receivers, but Desmond Ritter, said he was going to run and then does that. And basically a Mariota speed, which is nuts. Like that was impressive. And then him, Strong, and Willis are piping balls 50, 60 yards down the field. The tools are going to rope people in.
And I think Ritter will be a good dude, like in the interview room, especially too.
100%. I think Willis and Ritter might be the two best, honestly, which is crazy to think about. Where's the Colts second
I
rounder?
think it's 47 or
47 is 47. How far would they move up? Boy, if they're moving into round 1 for a QB in this draft, I'm gonna start to question Chris Ballard like I've never questioned Chris Ballard, to be honest.
I am a big Chris Ballard guy. But
if Indy stays put, they could be in play for one of these. I mean, if Watson slips that far, that is no question for them to take him. That is
Watson.
That's height weight. That's height weight explosion Senior Bowl, which is what Ballard does. So that's a Ballard guy, 100% if he falls there.
I could see them doing Mechie, but
I don't want them to do Mechie, Mason. I want Mechie at 59.
I mean, that's fair.
That's who I want at 59.
Yeah.
To the end of time, man.
I mean,
I don't think so. I think I truly think if the Browns go anything other than receiver, Mechie's their guy at 44. 100%.
So you're talking if they go like edge.
If they go edge or they go and I wouldn't be surprised because Marcus Harvey is driving this cornerback at 13 train like nobody's business because you have to play against the Bills, the Chiefs, the Chargers. Even if they do that, like that, Mechie at 44 makes a ton of sense for them. It's a pipe dream, I think, for the Packers. Carson Strong QB1 is still a take that a lot of people have, and a lot of people I respect. The Rise and Draft community has them. Quite a few of them still have him at QB1. I understand. I think seeing that he could roll out at the Senior Bowl was a big deal. That was nice.
I think I had a mid-second on him. I didn't. Willis is such a difficult study because I have him over Willis. I haven't done a lot of the other ones yet because I don't have time, honestly, with how much work I'm doing right now. But I was kind of a bit less concerned about the mobility because I did like him throwing on the run a little bit more than what I suspected because I just thought he would just be a statue pretty much, and he's not really.
He can climb and maneuver too, which is a good thing.
He has really good pocket presence for a pocket passer. But I thought that he kept his eyes downfield really well when he was outside the pocket, which is number one thing. So
yeah, it's not an easy thing. You'd think that's easier said than done.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys, when they escape, especially if they're young, they're tucking. They're tucking. They're looking for space. So
Willis
and Strong Strong knows where his hots are too. Post snap, he really does, and he's definitely again like Ritter and Willis. I'm sure in the interview room he's smart. They get out the whiteboard. He's gonna know. Okay, this is my hot. This is my 1-2. Where are you throwing this, etc. Like all those things. In the interview, he probably crushes those. It's just again. When teams want these exceptionally mobile players for today's game, that's where it's unfortunately gonna hurt him a little bit, which stinks. But
the real question is, how many free throws did he make?
That's the question. Well, one of these guys we're about to talk about went 5 for 5, and he's one of my favorite players in the entire draft. So we're going to talk about these few guys here. We'll start with Alec Pierce, though. We'll get to my guy in a little bit. Let's get to Alec Pierce. Numbers ? Hello, like I know there were a lot of people who, including myself, were like, "Oh yeah, I'm ready for the Senior Bowl because this dude, he can win deep. He'll stack you. He will moss you as well." Like we were waiting for that all week, and then he didn't really do much, and then exited early, which was really unfortunate. I'm like, man, that sucks. Like this was gonna be a guy who's gonna come out as a winner for me. I was ready for it, and then. He comes to the combine and says, "Nah, I'm going to be a 99th percentile athlete at receiver. Watch me work at 6'2", 3 1/4, 211." Mason, I have the numbers in front of me. It's nuts. The 4.33 was official, by the way, which is stupid. It is official. Dane Brugler 20 minutes ago with Danny Gray. It's a 4.33. Hello, 40.5 vert, 10.9 broad. It's everything's in the 90th percentile except for his height and weight. Like the numbers are ridiculous that I'm looking at.
Something here real quick.
Go ahead.
Have you seen the comps that everyone has been saying for him?
I'm wondering if I know one of them. I'm interested to see what people said.
It's a former Packer player.
I think I know which one it is.
It's good old Jordy.
Yeah. That's the one I knew. Yeah. Jordy.
I am 59 all the way for Alec Pierce. That is there's always one receiver. There's always one receiver every single draft. It was Devin Duvernay 2 years ago. It was Amon-Ra last year. It's Pierce this year.
The good news is he's not going to be a Raven. That's the good news. However,
don't say that.
He's not going to be a Raven unless they trade Bateman.
But
if they trade Bateman, Goody better be all up in on that. I swear. Yeah, Braden, I'm with you. Pierce's release, he can get so wide and cover enough ground vertically after getting wide, like Devonta Smith can, which is insane. So yeah, for a bigger guy like that, it's nuts. Yeah, Alec Pierce. I even tweeted this before the receiver started. I'm like, I really think it's Mechie Bell or Pierce in round 2 for the Packers if they don't go receiver, which they don't in the first. We know that. I really don't think he gets past 47. I think if Watson's not there, I think Ballard's going to be like, man, this is height, weight, explosion, and Senior Bowl at receiver all over again for me, and I'll pick him.
And that's what I'm worried about. It's going to be Indy or like the Chargers.
The Chargers, they got to do what they got to do the right thing. Jamison Williams, Travis Jones. Then we don't have to worry about them in the second round.
Or they could get McDuffie first round.
They could go McDuffie. That's true. But then the Pierce market is there for them. It sounds like they're going to tag Mike Williams, though.
I don't think
which is fine.
Good for them.
Good for them. Yeah. But Alec Pierce, man, I think he was ready. He was ready after the Senior Bowl kind of let down. He was ready to be like, listen, I'm coming out. I'm showing out. And
did you happen to see Brian and I's conversations on Twitter today?
A couple of them, yeah.
Yeah, he tagged me about the Pierce vertical, and he was like, "You're gonna be real happy when he runs sub 4.45. What are you gonna do then? 4.33?"
Yeah. Honestly, did they have like a wind tunnel for the second group? Obviously, we know now that the timer was a little bit off, but like
Charlie Casserly's probably like, yeah.
Even if you look at the official 40 times, though, like Wilson, Olave, Watson, Pierce, Calvin Austin, we're going to talk about in a moment. Velus Jones, Danny Gray, Bo Melton, all under 4.4.
Yeah.
And then there's a few guys who are right at that line. So Khalil Shakir had and we're going to talk about him next, had a 4.35 unofficial. The official's 4.43. That's still great for him. Yeah. I still think the explosion. Yeah, some comp Pierce to Michael Pittman.
Yeah.
I do think so. With a little bit more juice vertically.
Yes.
That's If they go big at receiver, that would be kind of fun to watch. Yeah. If Paris Campbell could ever stay healthy and be in that 11 personnel, then they're cooking.
No, he's not going.
But
that's the one Ballard pick that's just like
that was so odd to me. Because
like every single Ballard pick, besides like this year. Like this year was kind of like,
yeah, it was weird, but
Cody
Ingbo was odd for him in the second.
It's kind of growing on me a little bit, but like the Paris Campbell one is just like the only one that has never been there for me.
All I'll remember is Carter Donick and I on the same hill that Paris Campbell was not a top dozen receiver in that draft. No. I just remember us two being on that hill super hard. But Shakir, though, I do think he's a discount 3-phase guy.
Yeah.
He's a discount 3-phase guy, and that's whether that means he's a flanker or he's a slot.
Yeah,
that's fine. Like I do think the more you go down this receiver list, you're like, this is actually deeper than this is what we wanted 2020 to be.
Yes,
at the position, because 2020 had some flame out guys on day 2, and there probably will be in this class, and we're talking about it with reckless abandon again, and it's going to happen. Like not all these guys are going to hit, but like this feels like 2020 again, where I don't think I'm ranking any of these guys over Smith, Chase, Waddle personally.
No.
And that's just where I've been at since I think November. I remember asking the question, which top 5 of the 2 classes would you rather have? But man, if you need a wide receiver 2, there are so many, and Shakir's one of them. Like catch point winner, move him all over, contact balance. The balance and control he has after the catch is insane. But
the class is just it's insane. The class overall, not as just like receiver, it's just full of depth. It might not be the greatest at the top, but
yeah.
I mean, it feels like we said this last year too.
I see. For me, I thought last year was super top heavy, in my opinion, because you
I
had the
felt,
3 guys at the top. I thought Bateman and Moore were both excellent players as well.
yeah,
After that, it got a little shaky for me. But I just remember I just remember thinking to myself with the top 4, I thought it was 2014 all over
yeah,
again, because you had your Chase in, what was it? I had these
I can grab
to a
it.
T. I think Waddle I said was Watkins. You had your
Yeah,
Chase in no, I thought I had this because I thought, oh
Chase
no,
and
maybe,
Evans.
oh no, okay, I thought Smith was like a Beckham. I thought Waddle was like a Cooks.
Yeah, that
I
makes.
thought Bateman was like an Adams
Yep.
with more juice, and a Chase was somewhere in the middle, Watkins, Evans, Beckham type
Yep.
player. It really wasn't a good comp for that. But I remember thinking, okay, those 4 feel like 2014 to me. After that, it was a little cooler.
Yeah.
I like Smith Marset. We obviously, Mason, you more than me liked Amon-Ra St. Brown a good deal. You hated Terrence Marshall.
I was gonna bring that up. Yeah,
But you
I was
did.
gonna
But
bring
that's
that
okay.
up.
So far, so good.
Yeah,
So far, so good.
and now the coach that brought him in is gone. So
Yeah, it's wild. It's Carolina's wild. But
it's
so Shakir, great player. But yeah, the 2021 class, this feels deep. This feels deep in 2022 now. And I want to get to one of my favorite guys who went 5 for 5 on those free throws, baby. Skyy Moore from Western Michigan. Beast. When those numbers came in, that 5'10", 195, I was like, let's go. Just did a little
yeah,
clap and was like, this dude's buff Randall Cobb.
yeah,
This dude is buff
it's
Randall Cobb. Like, honestly. Then he
yeah,
runs, then he
it's
comes out and the official is 4.41 for him, which is nice. He runs away from people. He flashes some catch point ability. I know the vertical and the jumps weren't
yeah.
excellent.
I mean, that's not what you want him to do, though.
No.
So
But if you do not like pigeonhole this guy, just don't. If you haven't studied him and you're working through the receiver class, do not pigeonhole this guy into the slot. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself.
he's been
I
on
know
the
he's smaller. Don't do it to yourself. He can do the release game, his hands, the ability to swipe and create a window for himself. Yeah, all on board. If you don't believe me, YouTube
watch his video.
watchers, watch my YouTube video on it. It's on the channel already. I was
Watch
hoping it was gonna. I was like, if I put this out before he gets a little bump, I'm excited.
Yeah,
Here's his
Get
combine
swollen.
bump. Go watch it now. Go watch it if you haven't. What do you have any thoughts on Moore other than?
I mean, it just echoes what you've said. Like I didn't have time before yesterday to watch the video on you put out, and I finally watched it when I had time. I'm like, yeah. And then
Buff
he
Cobb,
comes out,
little Buff Cobb action.
yeah. And then he comes
Feels
out, and he
that
does
way.
this today, and I was like, whoo, whoo. Yeah, it's just
The Skye Moore hive is. We're coming.
give
We're
me
coming for wide receiver 6, baby. Okay,
Woo.
maybe 5,
Ooh.
maybe
Ooh.
5,
Ooh.
maybe
That's
5.
like Devin Duvernay territory for me 2 years
Maybe
back.
5. I do. He doesn't have the play speed Elijah Moore has, but man, I think he does a lot of the separation that Moore does.
Yeah.
So if you liked Elijah Moore, you probably like Skye Moore. If you liked Eskridge, you should probably like Skye Moore more than Eskridge. I'm gonna be honest.
What did
with
you
those
have
folks.
Eskridge at last year?
Oh, it was like a late 2, early 3.
Yeesh. That was probably way too high.
It probably was, but
Yeah.
that's about where I had like Brown, Collins, and Amon-Ra St. Brown as well as those early 3 guys.
I was big on Brown.
You were. I was big on Moore last year.
Yes.
That was
And
for me. That
everyone.
was that was the clear cut 5.
Yeah.
No questions asked. Probably could be 4. So yeah, Skye Moore, love that. Let's talk David Bell really quick here. So we talk about this too, like the double counting. You know, you're like, oh, we haven't even mentioned John Dotson.
Yeah.
Dotson's fast. We know he's explosive and fast. Don't like, and I know people include RAS in their evaluations.
Yeah.
I think that's a great tool because it's all encompassing. It's not really, but like if you had seen the speed on tape, don't bump the speed up that you saw at the combine as well as the speed you have on tape. Like, and I know it seems easy, but like some people kind of They might do it without thinking sometimes because
Yeah.
like, you do the eval sometimes before you look at the combine, you put those numbers in, it's your evaluation. You're like, oh, the speed's there, and you do double count it sometimes. But with David Bell, we kind of knew this was going to happen. Like if you didn't, then I have other questions. Like if you thought this is a 4.4 guy, it is not.
No.
Like the 4.6 made sense. We were kind of hoping that it was like 4.57 or something like that. If you were hoping for that, that's fine. Like I get it. I'm not shocked. He didn't jump great. I think he just positions himself well at the catch point. I don't think he's not going to go dominate it. Like that's just not what he does. Like he is all build up speed, all technique, all toughness.
Yeah, it's just a lot of technical. I wasn't really that surprised. I mean,
yeah.
The real question is how many of these other it'll kind of be, not to be like rude to those guys, but the kind of guys that kind of come in late, they'll position him with the N'Keal Harry and JJ Arcega-Whiteside group a little bit with the guys that can't separate, and it's just a contested catch guy that doesn't really work and flames out. But I don't think he'll be that, but it's just kind of I think he might kind of slide down a bit more now. But
hey, he might be in play at 59, no questions asked now.
We're going to go through all these receivers
92?
and say that they're in play at 59.
I don't think they'll take Skye Moore at 59. I don't think they'll take Shakir at 59 either, to be honest.
No.
I think those two, they're like, yeah, we have Amari Rogers. It's fine. But you took him in the third. You took him in the third.
Okay with Amari Rogers.
Honestly, I was okay with it, but I do remember saying Amon-Ra better. Like, if you wanted to
I was upset.
You were probably furious. But like,
I mean, I was fine with it, but
we should have known. Mason, aren't we just glad that they didn't take Amon-Ra in the third round? He might have been bad. Because Packers' third round picks are bad. That's
why I'm all for just throwing that third rounder just to move up.
Just move up in the second. Give up threes for the next 5 years, and you're good.
Yeah.
If you want to move up in the second for this class.
Although I think it was too early to give up on Jace, but that's for another day.
We'll talk about. Yeah, I'm sure we'll talk about that at some point. Yeah, but David Bell, we'll see. Obviously, with all these guys who ran well, and we're not even including the two Alabama guys who. Jamison Williams is probably running low 4.3s.
No, he's running 3.93 on the clock today.
3.93. Yeah, I saw that tweet. Yeah. Trevor's a great follow. He keeps it fun too.
Oh, the podcast is fantastic.
The podcast is great if you haven't seen it on NFL Stock Exchange. Yeah, Jamison would have ran really well. I think Mechie was probably mid 4.4s, even maybe late 4.4s. I think he's got that kind of burst. So if those two had ran too, now you're looking at David Bell. You're like, what do I do? Because the fantasy community loved the early breakout, and I understand that. Like if you're good right away, like I don't know why film people hate the analytic early breakout thing. Breakout age just means your good players were good early. Like it's not an end all be all, but it's a nice tool to be like, yeah, he was just good early because he's different. Like he's just a different player. But then he comes in. If you were David Bell, like wide receiver 2, 3. And you saw this, and this wasn't coming for you, you've been a little bit blindsided. And that is unfortunate.
I don't really think there's one specific. No, there is. There's another guy from Whitewater that writes for us. He's really big on the David Bell train. It's just, I don't know where he has him at, but he really wants him. I'm just like, you're going to need to kind of pat it down a little bit here because he's going to kind of fall a little bit.
I don't know if this is a hot take, but I have Mechie over Bell and comfortably.
I don't think that's really.
I don't know.
Is
Mechie over Dotson hot? Because I also think
they're in that same category.
I think it might be that for me as well. Just saying.
I think that grouping of Dotson, Mechie, and then I don't know where Pickens is going at this point.
That's the problem. Pickens just ran like 4.43. I gotta check.
I think it was 4.41 officially, maybe potentially.
What?
Yeah.
Was it actually?
I think so. Not 100% sure. Was it 4.43 unofficial?
Yeah.
Oh.
The unofficial was 4.43, and I didn't even put him on here because I was just kind of like, oh wow, he ran better than I thought.
Yeah.
The potential's absurd. I think it is just 4.43. I haven't seen official, but like. Are you kidding? Like, Mechie is so tough for me. Braden says Mechie's tough for me.
Yeah.
Here's the problem. With Mechie, what we did is we were dumb. we rode this like insane wave in the summer because he's like, all right, baby, he's got the one job now. Elite numbers incoming. Like, this is the next great Bama receiver.
Mhm.
And then it was like, oh, well, okay, maybe not exactly.
Yeah.
And then it was like, okay, well, I think we're underrating this guy because Jamison Williams had an absolutely absurd season. That's where Mechie is for me. Like, I'm not saying Mechie's this, like, again, and I like Mechie. I think he's in that same area with Skye Moore for me. Like, these guys are really good players. They're not ones.
No.
But I think they're really good.
Yeah, I think Mechie will be very good too.
That's
like,
that's
again, New Orleans, Green Bay. Who else could
Green Bay? You're right. You had me at Green Bay. No more.
Put every receiver to Green Bay and someone will get it right.
Like, people are going to drive Pickens at 28, 100% now because he ran well enough. That's the other thing with Mechie with me, and that's a huge one to stress enough. Rick Spielman has talked about this before, is the emotional maturity of wide receivers.
Yes.
And he's talked about this, and he talked about Jefferson had this and Diggs had this thing, that both of them had it. Nick Saban has talked very glowingly of Mechie's maturity. Very glowingly of Mechie's maturity. And that's something that, like, we don't have as much insight and access to these things. So when somebody says it like that and you don't, and you have the info and it's out, that speaks volumes to me that Saban is willing to even make this public about this guy. Because he easily could have talked about like a Tim Williams, right? Who was in that program a few years ago. What was, people were touting him like, this is a good speed rusher. And it was just off the field maturity stuff that kind of drove him way down the board and never minded anything. Maybe Saban told teams that. He might have. For him to say this out loud, he probably told people that we don't know about it. He tells people about this, and the Mechie stuff has come out. That's what sells me even more for him, is that type of thing. So, but I'll settle my piece there on Mechie. But I just think he's so good. He's such a technician with burst too.
Yeah,
people want Pickens bad. I get it.
I know Joey was in here earlier. He was the Bears fan.
Yeah.
One of you met Brady before, right?
Yeah.
Brady is big on getting Pickens to Jacksonville. Big.
I understand. Like, if you
33.
Yeah, I understand. Why not swing? Because of, man, when he's on, like, I remember I think it was Connor Rogers who said this. If you take the 5 best plays from George Pickens, I think Connor said it. Because I know Trevor's high on him. Trevor Sikkema is way higher on him than Connor.
Doesn't he have him at
2?
Yeah. Does he have London at 1?
Yes.
Right? Okay, that's what I thought. Because
he's London, Pickens, Burks.
London and Pickens.
Which I understand. London, Pickens, Burks. Like, I understand those 3 because those are like, if they hit their bona fide number 1 guys, like, totally understand that. Pickens, the 5 best plays, you can match him up with anybody.
Yeah.
100%. Wilson, Burks, London, Jamison Williams, whoever. You can match him up. The problem is like, are the maturity things like a real thing? Was he not producing because of the offense? Yeah, I think part of it is lies in that for sure. Like, Georgia wanted to hide their quarterback a little bit. Like, that was evident in the Clemson game. I know Pickens wasn't back for that, but like they hid Daniels. They threw him underneath all the time. Like, they wanted to run the ball. They wanted their defense to win games. Like, so Pickens is such a hard. I think it's the hardest eval in the class, outside of like the quarterbacks and like Willis, Ritter. Those 2 probably a little bit higher, but in terms of receivers, he's the toughest.
I think Pickens is really tough. I think it'll depend on. I mean, Mechie, like Raiden said, it's
Mechie, baby. Give me the John Mechie and Skye Moore stock wherever they go.
You missed the 3rd Alabama receiver.
No, we're not talking about. We don't need to talk about him. We know the landing spot already.
Is it going to be the landing round or the 7th round?
He's a 7th round pick for the New England Patriots, Mr. Slade Bolden. You'll hear the name. It'll be called out. Let's hit Calvin Austin III really quick here, and then Mason, if you want, we could preview tomorrow really quick if that's something you want to take a look at all.
Sure.
But Calvin Austin really quick, low 4 threes. And then I think he actually jumped out of Lucas Oil Stadium, if I'm not mistaken, as well. I think he's still floating up there somewhere.
He's up there somewhere. He's got a pilot's license.
He's up there. I think he jumped into the rafters. But like, seriously though, like, I understand people like with guys of this size because we're gonna do this now forever because Tutu Atwell was a 2nd-round pick. I blame the Rams for this so much. I blame the Rams for this completely.
Everybody
don't have an idea why he was the pick there. Okay. So now every guy that's, Calvin Austin, Wan'Dale Robinson, they're both going to get comped to Tutu Atwell. And it's like, well, I get it. I understand what you're doing. But no, but they're both better. I understand. Chris, we got to listen.
We got to get together.
As Packer fans, we got a big boost because that time was wrong.
Yeah.
Huge boost. Unfortunately, there's still a 3 after the 4, which is not a good sign, unfortunately, if you want him. But like
us 3 and MJ, and we need to get together again sometime.
Yep. Weekly Cheddar is always available. But Calvin Austin is fast and explosive. And he had a good week in Mobile, too. That's the other thing. Yes. It's not like, oh, this guy's just a workout warrior. Like, he played well down there. There's some like work as a route runner that he does to say, I'm using my eyes, I'm using my head. I'm going to make these guys bite because I'm so fast. Like there are guys who have speed, and then there are guys who have used their speed.
Yeah.
2 different things. A lot of the guys who are speed running those 4.2s and Jacoby Ford. Hayward Bay, Dree Archer.
Ooh, Hayward Bay.
Love those guys, right?
I'll never forget that Hayward Bay one.
Yeah, they have speed, but they don't use their speed.
Know how to use
Calvin Austin uses it.
Yes.
Do you have any thoughts on him?
I think. Where do you think he goes right now?
Boy, I think the day 2 talk is still nonsense. Or sorry, not day 2. Round 2 talk is nonsense to me. There's way too many guys.
Yeah, no, I don't think he goes.
There's way too many.
Not
he's 170.
Yeah.
Right? He's like 178 or something.
Was that what he weighed in at?
I think so.
What was he? The real question is, what's he going to be playing at?
Oops. I'm typing on the wrong computer. What's he going to be playing? Charleston Rambo? Oh, he wasn't that good to begin with. I'll never forget when he was at Oklahoma. I think one of his parents was like, this dude's a 1st-round pick. Like, Rambo? What are you doing mocking Charleston Rambo? I'll never forget this. It was on Twitter. I remember it vividly. Somebody mocked him in like the end of the 3rd or like the 7th round. They're like, what are you doing? This is like a top 50 player. And he's going in the first 2 rounds. Like, what? And then he transferred to a different nonsense. Where's the RAS for him? Dang it. Where is the RAS?
He just jumped through the roof.
He did.
I saw that earlier. I was like, what?
Yeah, the jumps were nuts. Like I was hoping for a guy like that you get, okay, well, he'll jump okay. Like the explosion's good enough and I'm not worried about it. But like, I have to find the numbers. Oh, okay. Vertical was 39 and the broad was 11.3.
So he was right there.
What the heck? Ooh. Oh, Braden does say it's 170.
Yeah.
Okay, that's what it is. One of Austin and Robinson was 170. The other was 178. I do think, Austin is 170. And I'm pretty sure Robinson's 178 at like 5'7" and 7/8 or something like that.
I still can't get over
the size is going to be wild.
I still can't get over them listing him at 5'11" when it was clear he wasn't.
What, Robinson? No, okay, so somebody found a picture of him standing next to like Rondale Moore. Rondale Moore. And Rondale Moore is what?
He's like 5'8".
5'9" and an eighth, 5'8" and 7/8, and he's shorter than him. And people are still sticking to the 5'10" thing. It's like, no, he's really not that. Like so now I think he's 5'7" and 7/8. I want to say.
I know Jesse has a good list of which teams usually are correct.
Yes,
he said that one is obviously not correct.
Yeah, it was wrong. It was totally wrong. And it's so funny because the schools I just feel like are doing a disservice with this. Just tell you what it is because guess what? We're gonna find out at the combine.
Yeah,
we're gonna find out.
It's the same way in high school recruiting.
Nonsense. Yeah, it's not.
Just be honest, and we're gonna find out either way. You can see it right as we walk up to you. Of course you are, Chris.
Rambo's dad, Nate, it might have been Rambo's dad. I think you're right. I think it was. It was one of Rambo's parents. I'm glad Nate remembers this, so people don't think I'm going insane. It was definitely a thing. It's like Charleston Rambo's a first rounder. It's like, no, he's not.
That's insane.
Stop yourself. I know Nate's a big fan of the tattoo he has.
We were going through it in our chat earlier, and some were a big fan of it, some weren't.
I'm not, because I don't like that movie. So UDFA. But no. So Chris, I'm going to say this. I'm Team Skye Moore heavily over Wan'Dale Robinson.
Ooh, those are
heavily.
Those are fighting words.
With great vigor. Okay. With great vigor, way above it. I'm him above Calvin Austin too. Don't care.
Well, yeah. Don't
care. So, but again, that doesn't mean Calvin Austin and Wan'Dale Robinson could both be nice players.
Yeah.
But again, the reason they will be is because of the space they have to operate now in offenses. You'll be able to create space for them to do what they can do. And Austin might be able to win down the field as well. I don't think Robinson will as much, personally. But yeah, Calvin Austin III. Whew, baby. The jumps were nuts. And I'm excited. Bo Melton had a good day too.
Yeah, I was.
Bo Melton.
That second 40, I was like,
I'll tell you what.
Yay.
That dude's crafty too. So Bo Melton over Wan'Dale Robinson, you're welcome. Check right there for me.
He's going to leave the chat now.
I'm sorry for the Wan'Dale Robinson stands. I don't know if y'all were hoping that he was actually 5'10" or like
they had him at 5'11".
I don't know if y'all were hoping he's 5'10" to be like, no, this isn't Rondale Moore again. Well, it's not. It could be worse.
Less.
Yeah. But Bo Melton is crafty. He showed you how crafty he was down in Mobile. Probably limited to the slot potentially.
Yeah.
Hand usage needs to get better if he wants to play outside. But again, that's a guy day 3 who, can carve out a role for himself, no doubt about it.
Another guy that had 38's good for him. 10-1, yeah. 4.39. Wasn't it like 4.33 unofficial for the second?
The unofficial, I think, was 4.34. I want to say
it was
4.34.
That made me kind of yell a little bit when I saw that. I was like, oh.
So obviously, for those who are regulars, I'm not in the studio that I normally am, my room that I'm normally in, because I'm in Florida. But I was in the common place in the kitchen, just like going absolutely ballistic when these guys were running these just nuts 40s. Because the first group, it was like, okay, yeah, there's some fast dudes. Kevin Austin, wow, that was a nice number.
Yeah.
Like Burks, okay, fine, whatever. And then the second group runs their first one since like, bam, 4-3, bam, 4-2, 4-2, 4-2-1. Garrett Wilson made me get out my chair with that 4.37 because I was so hyped because I love Garrett Wilson. Like Skyy Moore got me hyped at 4.39. Like, yeah, it was nuts. That was so much fun. That's the thing. It's like, I know people will be like, don't worry about the combine. It doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
I get it. It doesn't. Early, the 40 isn't important. But there's certain drills and thresholds you want to see players meet. But also, this is the draft. We're here to have fun. So go nuts over the 40s. It's great. It's super fun.
It's just part of the process.
If Treylon Burks ran a 4.4 like 3 or something today, do you know how many people would have jumped out their chairs? It's a fun process. I'm excited that we thought Taekwon Thornton broke the record. Like, he's still going day 3, but it's fun.
The worst part was, like, at that point when he did run that, it was just like, oh okay. Because like, there was like 3 or 4 people that had already run.
So the first run that he did that broke that up, the first 10 yards of that
he was
kind of messy. It was pretty messy, those first 10 yards. And then it I don't know what happened. He became this like perfectly still sprinter. And you're like, yeah, track. Sure. 100% track. Yep. Track. And get ready. There's going to be more of them. JT Woods, Kalen Barnes for Baylor.
That's going to be
on Sunday. Get the clocks ready because they're running low 4.3s as well.
Did Petrie do track as well?
I don't know if Petrie did or not, but I know Barnes did and I know Woods did.
Yeah,
there are other DB. There are some DBs who did track too, and I have to go. I want to go back and re-listen tonight probably while I'm up to look at because Bruler and Zerline went through like all these guys who are track guys.
Yeah,
especially the DB spots, and they're going to be going crazy. Velas Jones in the 5th, 6th. Yes. Okay. Special teams. Heck yes. Heck yes.
Yes.
Gunner, returner, absolutely. 100%. 100%. I love that. I think Velus Jones would be a great pick. I think a lot of people are going to pick him up, even if he's not, again, even if he's definitely a guy. I remember a couple reps of the Senior Bowl where I go, okay, yeah, you need to use your speed more to sell vertically if you're going to win over the middle. Because there were a couple reps where nobody bought that he was going deep because he was slow striding to try and run these square in routes. So he's slow striding. He has to kind of acclimate himself to become, a receiver who could win on the outside. But yeah, speed, run some goes and fades from the slot, and be a gunner and a returner. Absolutely love that. You got thoughts on Velus? I know there's a couple questions still. So
not on Velus, but I want to get into.
Do you want to get into tomorrow, or do you want to get into another?
I want to say something real quick.
Go ahead.
There was someone that didn't run that I thought won was Ian Cummings' favorite receiver.
Oh, little double E, little double E. Nice player.
Those measurements in the film, yeah, confirmed.
Yeah, film is way better than I thought it was.
Getting him in the 6th round is similar to getting Watson in the 5th round in these mocks, because it's just like, okay, sure.
It's not happening. He might, again, this group is deep, so he might be one of the guys who goes in like the 100 to 110 potentially. I don't know what the speed is. He didn't run, so who knows, because it's deep. But yeah, and like discount Drake London, catch point win post catch, sure.
Give me yes.
Give me. I know. Oh man, Chris says, "What about Drake London off the board?"
He's doing it to make me angry.
So
that is the
so I'm gonna say something. I don't know if Drake London will end up as my wide receiver 6, but I'm not going to rule it out. So there's that. When I said it, because Nate and I are going to do a receiver show with rankings. When I said I have got takes, I have takes.
Love it.
But Drake London can go off the board first if he wants to. Anything to push my top 3 guys, Olave, Burks, and Wilson down the board. Sounds good to me. Maybe Pickens can go early too. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Love it. I do think the body type makes sense for the Jets, though. Like, if they're going to do that, if the Falcons want to go, we'll red zone the living crap out of you.
I don't
catch
like
point
that
with London and Pitts. Fine, do it.
Is there a chance he falls to the 2nd, or is this all this talk? Just
London?
Yeah.
I really do. I'm kind of with Thor Nystrom on this, and I don't agree with Thor on like everything, but he goes way in deep, and I appreciate how in depth he goes with the reports and all the rankings at the end. He talked about how scheme specific this guy could be, because I'm telling you right now, this dude is not a dude where I'm like, man, okay, if I'm running dagger, you got to run this dig for me. He's never doing that. Like, I'm never asking him to do that, because one, I don't think he can stack quick enough to get out there in that dig to do so. No. And to be able to two-way go at that point at the top of his route to say, what do you think I'm running? Do you think I'm not running the dig? That's what worries me. And again, he could be a wide receiver 1. I understand it. Like, he'll probably still grade very well for me, because again, what he does after the catch is good enough at his size to and how tough he is to make me kind of move off the N'Keal Harry a little bit more than I normally would. But man, and he does beat press at the line. He'll get through it in his own way through press. That's great. That's good news. That's something N'Keal Harry did not do at all. So that raises the floor for me. But still, for me, it's the Ohio State guys and Burks. If I want a guy, Jamison Williams, absolutely, totally understand it. That's the tip of the tippity tip elite wide receiver 2, with enough ceiling, separation, quickness. Thank you for being my only entertainment while stuck in traffic. Drake London and Mike Evans thing, that's got to stop. That's got to stop. And Braden, if you're still here, we're going to answer the running back question. I understand why people are doing this, because they think body types immediately. But again, he's like, what? Is he like 6? He's not quite 6'4", is he?
Which one?
London.
He came in at 6'3".
6'3" and 7/8.
Over 6'3".
6'3" and 6/8.
Something like that, yeah.
Okay. The Evans thing for me is hilarious for 2 reasons. One, London changes direction really well for a guy his size. He does do it. And I think the square in, square outs in that short area are very good for him. And I was impressed. I thought he was efficient there. The problem for me is Mike Evans has hip sync like you cannot believe. Mike Evans is an alien. Trust me. There's a reason that he has 1,000 yards every season he's played. He's still underrated somehow. At 6'5", 230, he can drop his hips like freaking Stephon Diggs and Justin Jefferson can. It's stupid.
He is. And he doesn't get talked about enough.
No. I think he can be T. Higgins. I do. I think he can be T. Higgins. That's I think where the ceiling sits. And I don't know. I'm still kind of on the fence if T. Higgins is really a wide receiver 1 to me.
Well, I mean, he's obviously not at Cincy.
A 1 is he a 1B? Maybe.
Maybe.
I think the T. Higgins makes sense. Someone threw out something else, and I don't remember what it was now for him as a comp. It's gonna bother me. I'm not thinking of Marshall. That's not the one. There was another one with a long, wiry guy. I don't remember. Evans really is. I agree, Braden. I don't. What more can we talk about with Mike Evans? Like it's stupid. Catch radius
next year.
Who's his quarterback? I do think that the Tom Brady, the saying that one saying of you're really going to stick with that. You know what?
Yeah.
I feel like it was about Jimmy. And if Jimmy took the Buccaneers one step further than Brady did last season, I think it would be hysterical to me. I think it'd be hilarious. I don't think they're going to do it. The scheme does not match at all.
It does not at all.
It doesn't match at all. If they were going to draft a guy,
it's
it's Carson Strong through and through, maybe Howell as well.
For reading my mock.
Second round. Always. I read your mocks, Mason, all the time, man. I make sure to read them.
You and Brennan.
I read them to their entirety. I think those are the fits. They could go get Russ. They could.
That'd
be hilarious. That is so wild. Mike Evans would feast.
Yeah. Oh.
Mike Evans, if you still have your 2, move up to get Pierce. Oh, yes.
That is correct.
Nate's big on that. And Lattimore does do well against him. That is true. Okay. Let's go to this by Braden here because I do think this will be fun tomorrow.
I've got 2.
I think we crowned a couple of Avengers tonight, which is great. I can't wait for the all Avenger team to come out from the combine. I started this back when Wirfs and Simmons both Avengered themselves back in 2020. I do think Jelani Woods is an Avenger.
Yes.
The numbers are nuts with him. I think Christian Watson, I want to see what the number is with the 4.36. I still think he might be an Avenger. If not, I'm putting Pierce in the Avenger category.
I think you should put both.
I could put both. We'll see. Tomorrow's Avenger group, I don't know if there's a running back who's going to be like a true Avenger.
Yeah.
Rashad White could be. Yeah. Rashad White could be. And Braden, I kind of agree. I think he's going to light it up.
There's 2 I really want to see, and it's Kyron and Damian Pierce.
Yeah. I think has the Pierce 40 talk gotten out of control? I think that's the guy who's gotten out of control, right? Where like they think he could run 4.4s. Is that the guy I'm thinking of? Some running back who I think is like a fringe 4.58 to 4.6 type of player is like getting crazy numbers thrown out with like 4.4s. I don't know if it's Pierce or not.
It might be. I haven't seen it a whole lot, but I think I've seen it listed a few times. Not 100% sure.
Okay. It could be Pierce. It might not be. But yeah, Damian Pierce, those two in drills are going to light it up.
Yeah.
They may not test crazy, but like, I don't know what Williams is going to test. That's like the numbers I really want to know. Because like, I thought the burst was enough. You can obviously, they've thrown him in the slot. He knows how to pass protect, and he has arrogant hands as a running back.
Very, very lackluster term for his ability in run block and pass blocking. He is the best run.
He is
blocking running back in the class.
Yeah, he is
phenomenal. For me, he needs to get a hotel in Miami right now. So
Kyron?
Yes.
I think Kenneth Walker needs to. Kenneth Walker might need to get a. Well, if they I just don't know. What do you think McDaniel's going to value? Is he going to value size
I
at
don't
that
know
position?
because he didn't really do that at San Fran.
I know
as
they
much.
had the undersized, more the
That's why
fleet
Kyron,
footed runners. Kyron makes a lot of sense. There's no doubt about it.
because
Ford?
What did you say?
Jerome Ford, maybe?
Yeah, I know.
That's the
I've
other
had
guy if you
problems-
go undersized,
Yeah,
potentially. I think Walker's just so dang
he's so
elusive. It's
good.
not. How does he cut and get vertical? How does he do that? Like, Jen, I'm asking. That's a real question. I need the physics people to get on this. How does he do that?
The question for me is, I don't know which chat it was in. It's one of the chats that I was in, and they were
Okay.
talking about how Kenneth Walker at Wake Forest did not get any pass catching opportunities at all.
And still had enough share as
Yes.
in that offense. Hey, we do not hate on the elongated mesh here. How dare you?
That is just.
I do agree. I think Kenneth Walker catching a football in drills tomorrow is important.
I think that's the main
Everything
reason.
almost.
Yeah, I
for
think
him.
that's the main reason why Walker doesn't make sense for me personally right now. But
Yeah.
then again, I've talked to Devin Jackson. Is it Jackson or Williams? Devin Jackson.
It's Jackson, right? Yep.
And then I've also talked to Damian Parson from TDN about it, and they're both on the Kyron to Miami train.
Kyron, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it because, I understand it. I don't think they're going to love Hall or Spiller.
No, definitely not.
I really don't. Not Hall. I still don't think they're going to love Spiller either.
No.
I do think
there was a report that said they loved one of these top running backs, and it just kind of did not make sense to me. It might have
been Spiller then. I do think, let's see. So Braden said Strong, which is a good one.
Yes.
Pierce Strong and Rashad White are two excellent ones. I want to see, is Chianti Ingram running tomorrow?
I have no idea. Wait, whoa. Hold on.
Chianti Ingram running tomorrow. I need to know the running back combine list. If anybody has it, throw it in the link.
I can maybe find it, but there's a report that's saying that Tyler Algier might be open to move to linebacker.
What? Well, no, just pass protect. Okay, wait. I have the list here. I don't know if it's the updated list or not. Chianti Ingram. Yes, okay. So Chianti Ingram and Sincere McCormick are two guys I want to see.
Oh, McCormick, yes.
McCormick running is going to be a fun experience. Those two for sure. Jerome Ford, obviously, want to see what he runs. Like I said, I think in the passing drills, I need to know Kenneth Walker. How are you?
Yeah.
Like, show me what you are as a pass catcher. So outside of the two that Braden mentioned, which I like, those are the things I want to see. How about you, Mason? Braden likes McCormick too.
Yeah,
I like McCormick.
I would probably go McCormick and then the two I mentioned earlier with Kyron and Pierce.
Beatty?
Yes.
Beatty could have a good day.
Didn't he really show out at the Senior Bowl when he wasn't even really like wasn't he a backup at the Senior Bowl and he showed out too?
Was he at the Senior Bowl? Beatty.
Or was it?
At the Senior Bowl.
He was a late invitee.
He was there. Yep. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean
he really showed out a little bit, but
yeah. I know. So Brett Coleman I saw is really high on Brian Robinson.
Yeah.
And obviously Jim Nagy was right there. Probably had notifications on whenever someone tweets about a Senior Bowl player.
Yep.
Fair enough. That'll be interesting. I do think Bam Knight could run. He could put up a good number. He's been a returner for NC State. So, hey, Packers fans, there's a guy. In my best
every returner,
here's a guy who can return kicks. Now here's a guy who can return
down.
kicks, and he's fast and he's smooth. I like Donovan Knight a ton. I think the hype's cooled on James Cook for some reason.
Yes,
not sure
I don't
why.
know why.
I get it. He's not going to be he's not a workhorse. Fine. But with like the amount of pass catching that running backs do, I don't get whatever. But what Damian Pierce is another. Ely might run really well. I mean, he's like 190, so kind of expect him to do so. Yeah. It's gonna be a fun day of running back, just because I feel like the group is everything's just so close. Like we're waiting for the breakout guy. If Kenneth Walker catches passes like he's Christian McCaffrey tomorrow, wrap it up. I do think people think Breece Hall is going to run really well too. I know there's a lot of people who think maybe the 4.48 is a real thing for him. If he does that, maybe he's the guy. No, I don't think he's the guy who's the 40's gotten out of control, because I still think he's probably 4.5. I don't know.
I have a buddy that's an Iowa State fan, so he's really big on Breece Hall. So,
I mean, my sister went there, so
yeah.
So I mean, Breece Hall and Montgomery are what they've basically lived off of out there for like 5-6 years now. Yeah, maybe that's it. That's true.
Yeah,
with Dalvin in the NFL, maybe they just I get it. I mean, think
but that's
so quick, man, in this short area. It's unbelievable sometimes.
That's different though with Hayward today, though, because they were making a big deal about Hayward today.
Yeah, Connor Hayward. Yeah, it's true. That is true. Yeah, I think that's really for one. Yeah, Zerline. Yeah, Zerline says Hall will run sub 4.5. He will have fans rise up and say, this has always been the one. No questions asked. Which is fine. I just don't know if there's going to be a consensus for me. Obviously, I'll put rankings out, but I just don't know who it's going to be at the position. I really don't. Like, pure runner, Kyron and Kenneth Walker are enjoyable. Kenneth Walker's fantastic. Kyron Williams does it all. I feel like Kyron's getting cooled off on because of size. Fine, do it at your own risk.
I don't know why. He's just going to go to Miami.
Algier hype, though. Yeah, he's just going to go to Miami. And then the draft capital people be like, oh, crap, landing spot mattered there. So, yeah, maybe Hall does shine tomorrow. And where are you on Spiller at the moment? Then I want to talk O-line really fast. Where are you on Spiller?
I'll probably have him at 2.
Okay.
I'm not.
Okay.
I like doing the later round, the mid-round, late-round running backs more because
like McCormick.
Yes.
Like
McCormick,
Kyron,
like
Goodson. Dude.
Yes.
Goodson from Iowa.
I'm really excited to go into Kyron
and Strong
these
and
next
White.
few weeks, hopefully.
The running back group looks deep. Like there's be just so many role players that take NFL spots, man.
There's
almost too many. It's crazy. Yeah. I did mention Bellinger today, right at the top of the show. I mentioned that Bellinger ran really well for somebody who's inline blocking type. He dominated Fred the Sled in the drill, like McBride did. He crushed it there. Like that's, and I thought the routes were decent at the Senior Bowl too. So like I think Bellinger can carve that, because and Daniel Jeremiah was talking about it. Day 3, there's going to be some guys, and he's like, I don't want to hate on the day 2 players at tight end, but the day 3 guys are looking nice, and Bellinger's definitely one of them. There's no doubt about it.
No, I know Chris does not want Bellinger because he does not want another blocking tight end.
Fair enough. I get it.
So,
I mean, Trey McBride's a blocking tight end.
I mean, so is Isaiah Leggley a little bit, but I mean, he just bullies people. He doesn't really necessarily.
I think the Dulcich hype's gotten a little out of control, if I'm being honest. Yeah. I mean, he's a good runner. He's good up the seam and all that. Like, I get it. We like the pass catching types a lot, but how about offensive line? You got anybody? I know Linderbaum's not running, so we can't crown him an Avenger potentially at the Garrett Bradbury level. Can we talk about really quick before we mention maybe a couple names and we'll call it? Evan Neal carrying 337 is major Tyron Smith vibes. Like, it's absurd. I showed a picture of him and I asked my dad, I said, Dad, how much do you think this guy weighs? How much do you think he weighs? And he goes, maybe 240, 250. I'm like, no, It's almost 100 more than that.
Heavier.
This is insane.
It was
how
insane.
he carries that. Number 1.
Yes.
I remember when that was like hot.
Yeah.
That take used to be like hot. Like, how dare you? They would never pass on
Wasn't
the 2
that
edge
like-
rushers who are not at the
wasn't
Chase
that
Young,
like-
Nick Bosa level, by the way. Like,
Wasn't that like mid-January that was still kind of a hot take a little bit too?
I think it was because I remember putting my 2-round mock out on YouTube and putting Neil at 1, and I think there was a ton of pushback on it. Yeah, I think it was even late December, early January. It was still hot.
I think it's kind of obvious, unless Jacksonville. I mean, it's Jacksonville, obviously. But I think
With the first pick, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Chris Olave, wide receiver.
Excuse me?
You're like, wait a minute, and then you cut to the GM. Wait, he didn't run a 4.26. Oh, never got the official time. My bad. Can we?
Sorry, guys.
I want a mulligan. There's a couple guys who are like hovering around that 5.0 line in the 40. Who interest me at offensive line. I feel like I know the hype's cooled. I feel like Petit Frer's gonna have a good day. I think he's gonna have a good day. And I know there's like it's half and half now. Like people have committed to the fact that like, okay, the Penn State and the Michigan games were horrific in pass protection.
Awful.
The Michigan game made him look like Rasheed Walker at times. Just getting blown the doors off by guys. Just be honest. Like he's getting the doors blown off him. This looked like Charles Cross early in 2020, where the power rushers just walked him back and bowled him over. Like, hello. Like, but I think he's gonna do a lot. I think the testing is gonna be favorable to him because he moves well. Like it is. So then people will be like, well, I don't know what to do with this guy anymore. I mean, I do. Send him to Baltimore.
Yeah.
Let that man run block a lot.
Yeah.
A lot, and move on with your life.
I could see Baltimore, but like, I mean, Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Oh, Falele.
Is it Falele or
I don't
Falele?
know.
I don't know who I've heard both.
I've heard both.
Vidarian Lowe with the Chiefs.
Yep.
Vidarian Lowe's got nice tools.
He does. I think that's going to be – who was your tackle last year for the Packers? Every late round pick, like day 3. Who was it?
You talking about just lineman in general or tackle?
There was a few tackle.
Oh, tackle last year. Oh, man. I don't remember who the tackle was, but I know I was driving that Drew Dahlman train, and he looked like doo-doo.
Those day 3 Atlanta
dog. Trust me, there could be people who fall in love with the day 3 centers. Did you hear how Lindstrom talked today at all?
No.
Lindstrom was very technical in all his answers.
Good. I'm not surprised.
He was extremely technical. It's not surprising.
No.
Like that's the day 3 potentially center. I have no idea who the second center is going to be off the board. I have no clue. No idea.
Who's the Memphis kid? Who's the Memphis kid?
Oh, Parham. Shoot,
yes.
You're right. Easy. Never mind. You're correct. Yep. Unless they count Zion Johnson as a center, of course.
Where do you play him? Do you play my
I don't know, man. Those reach blocks at the Senior Bowl were nice.
That's my next report.
Those were nice. Like, okay.
Yeah.
Maybe Nick Ford's in one of the top 5 centers take him. But I do. Is Zach Tom going to be there tomorrow?
Is he? Did he get a combine invite? Because I know there was a few.
Yep, he's there. Yep.
I know there was a few linemen that were just like, why didn't they get an invite?
Yeah, DeMarc was one of them from UConn. That made no sense. Yeah, Hoffman was no sense. Those two are great, very good players. Like DeMarc in pass protection is excellent. Zach Tom, I think will have a good combine.
Yeah,
he's a little undersized at tackle, but I think he has a good combine.
Here's a general question for you outside of the combine: who would you rather have, Ekwonu or Cross? Would you rather have the dominant run defender or the great pass blocker that is
There are some folks who are a little hesitant on Cross. Are you one of them?
Yes.
You are. Yeah, I know. I know Glassmeyer is as well.
We literally have the same exact grade.
Well, this is why I remember from the summer and why I didn't rake him highly in the summer. I'm like, well, one, the run blocking isn't good. Well, no. The good news is he fixed the anchor issues, and a lot of the anchor issues he had in 2020 did not show up as much in 2021.
Yeah.
There was improvement there at least.
There was some small improvement.
In a vacuum, I think I'm still taking Ekwonu, but like, especially if I'm the Jets, like there's no question about who I'm taking between the two of them. The Jets, I feel like, are locked in. Mock drafts. If you have Thibodeau falling to the floor, take Thibodeau. If you don't, take Ekwonu if he's available. Those are the two guys.
Have you seen the reports that they're super high on Hamilton?
Yeah. It's understandable.
Because he won't make it past Atlanta at 8.
I don't think so either. But they do have a second they can throw to somebody if they want to move up above
Atlanta.
Just saying.
Just go across the office. Hey.
Are Giants fans going to be upset if Cross is the pick at 5?
They were upset with, it's.
Do you see my tweet about them?
Which one?
About if they could lend Thibodeau and Hamilton, their fan base would still. That they didn't select offensive linemen. It's like, what? Chill. If you don't get Neal or Ekwonu, I'm a little concerned for you anyway.
Yeah.
Also, stop thinking you're taking Hamilton in the top 7. He's a 290-pound center. I don't think so. Like,
you mean Linderbaum?
That would be, Linderbaum. Yeah. What did I say?
You said Hamilton.
I don't know what I said. I don't think they're. Oh, whatever. Yeah, I don't think they're going to take Linderbaum at 7.
What about 5?
At 290? Where Bradbury was like Avenger-like at the combine and he still went 15th?
Yeah.
Like, are they really going to do that? I don't think so. I think Giants fans want them to.
It just depends on positional value for the new staff.
If I'm Houston, I'm not letting Hamilton slip past 3, but that's just me. So, like, if the Jets like him at 4, I understand. Hey.
Yeah. Hey. The real question then is, are they keeping May then, or what's going on there? Could you use them both? Because I know Ashton Davis.
Yeah.
Ashton Davis is kind of similar to May.
Yeah.
A little bit. Wasn't it Jeremiah that had
Never forget, there was a person who had Ashton Davis as the best prospect in that class.
At safety or overall?
Overall. Number one. They did have Herbert at number 2, though, so.
Fair enough.
Well, hey. But, like, even if you re-sign May, I'm pretty sure I'd still draft him.
Yeah. It's just.
That doesn't
come around.
So good.
He's the best player in the draft.
He's so good.
It isn't really even close.
Like, people can say that, like, Hutchinson or Tibbs are like a Bosa or Young. They're not.
Yeah, they're not.
So, who's your number 2 player after Hamilton? Is it Tibbs? Is it Ekwonu? Neal?
Probably Neal.
Okay. So what I'm hearing is it's not Christian Watson at number 2 for all.
Not yet.
Maybe if the 4.28 was real.
Maybe if he runs like a 3.98 at the pro day.
Dude, that was nuts. I just want to see the linemen do the drills. It's so fun to me to watch them. Those are fun.
Okay.
Little lighthearted stuff.
I know it's a year past this.
Okay.
Do you remember last year what the favorite topic was when you talked to me?
What do you mean favorite topic?
For draft time. Favorite position to talk about?
For you?
Yes.
No. Nope.
Come on.
Hey. I never wanted Zaven at 28 or 30, by the way.
Who
did not at all?
Who is gonna shine at linebacker?
Thank goodness. Who's gonna shine at linebacker? I mean, I would. Well, does McLean count because he's going to be like 220 pounds? Does that like actually count? I feel like it doesn't count.
Speaking of players like that,
Oh,
how did Sterling Weatherford not get a combine invite?
yeah, that's wild to me. That's insane. Honestly, like Lloyd well,
Chanel.
okay, so like I'm on Rise and Draft right now because I'm just interested in the 40s. Dean at a 4.46 would be a little surprising. Even with how fast he looks. That's still like again, that's a fast no. That's like
That's really
insane
good
number.
And Jesse's really good at that. So
okay, I'm gonna make a statement here. I'm not gonna say who 1 and 3 are. I'm Chad Muma. I don't care what he runs. LB2, not pencil, Sharpie. LB2, 2. Get to chew on that to figure out which between Dean and Lloyd is 3. You get to chew on that.
Watch it be neither, and it'd be Chanel.
Well, we know it's not Harris. Okay.
Oh,
although Harris should probably test well.
He'll test good. You know who
Brandon Smith could be like a 95th percentile athlete.
That's the name I was just
don't care. Don't care. Tape bad.
Tape is very
bad.
Tape
did you hear the 4.38 high school stuff with him?
Yes.
If he even comes near that, he's probably going top 64.
He's going day 2, and that team that drafts him is going to regret it.
Arizona doesn't have enough linebackers. They should go with him. Oh, Braden, I completely agree.
Yes.
Completely. Tyndall over Walker till I die. Tyndall over Walker.
It's insane that nobody talks about either of them really because of
this weekend. Okay.
Nobody talks about them because Georgia has all these different players.
No, I disagree. I've seen Quay Walker in first round of mocks.
Who was it? Zerline or was it Bucky?
Oh, I don't know, but they went to Tennessee. Obviously, I don't remember who it was. The Quay Walker.
I saw Quay going to Detroit on an NFL Network one.
Oh, interesting. I've seen him go to Tennessee a few times. Then maybe CBS has done that. Could be CBS. I think that's kind of wild to me. I like Tyndall a lot.
Yes.
Gemmel's another one who at like 225 should do pretty well. I'm not worried about Beavers and Chenal. They're massive. So like the numbers relative, the numbers relative to like what Beavers and Chenal are going to underwhelm people. I'm not worried about it.
He won't. Chenal won't probably. Well, he probably won't test great.
I don't think it'll be good, but like if he benches,
no.
If he benches, he might help the RAS a little bit there. He should give it a little boost.
It'll just give it a little boost, kind of like an outlier.
Bench will have a 10 by it, and others will have maybe 4s and 5s, and he'll kind of fall in the middle at maybe like a 60%, maybe if he can really swing it enough. But yeah, Braden, I'm totally in on Tyndall.
Yes.
Like he's fun. He's the one guy I think who has like when people start to finish up evals like vision wise, I'm so in on.
Oh yeah.
Him and Muma with vision, and obviously Chenal has it too. Like those guys with vision are really good. Then you have like the freaks like Dean and Lloyd who can run all over the place, go nuts. Christian Harris, Quay Walker who can run all over the place. That's fine. Like, did you see the PFF thing?
Which one?
The linebacker position, that scatter plot in terms of like projecting their grades at like coverage and run defense.
Yeah.
And how that translated into like where they were selected.
Yeah.
It's just a crapshoot. It's not any different. So
yeah.
Thanks for I'm team PFF because that means Packers fans stop talking about linebacker at 28. Thank you. Good night. Don't care who it is. Nobody.
It's not me this year. Don't worry about it. How about this? I think you'll agree here.
Man. Good stuff. All right.
You'll agree here. Linebacker Senior Bowl, small school.
Linebacker Senior Bowl, small school. Small school.
Well,
how small are we talking?
Because
if you're talking about DeMarco.
No.
You're not talking about him? Small school. What's small?
Okay. This will give it away. Division.
Just say the name.
Troy Anderson.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's small. Discount Muma. I'm in.
Yep.
I'm in for discount Muma all day.
Round 3,
every day.
Round 3, I would go for it.
I'm in that range where I think if it's Tyndall Anderson or like maybe even Damon Clark or Damone Clark, I'm kind of in there. If they go one of those 3, I'm in. I think I'll be okay with it. Like,
yeah.
Now, if Skye Moore's on the board and they do that, I'm going to be upset.
Even if they double up on receivers in the first round, you'll be clamoring for another one.
Yeah, if they take like Pickens and Bell, imagine if they do that. That'd be wild. But if they did that,
does this make you happy, Aaron?
Yeah, and he did that. I honest to goodness, at 92, if Skye Moore's on the board, I will be clamoring for it. I don't care, and we'll be sad. I will. Anything with DBs? I'm sure we're going to be talking about this more, and then I'm going to do more of these. But any DB,
I want to see.
Super excited. Like, but for me, it's Kyron. Like, just blow the doors off and just like say like I'm here. By the way, like I'm here.
Why is he dropping?
Well, Booth and Stingley don't test. I don't know. I guess he doesn't tackle that well.
Do you
or maybe he doesn't just give effort to tackle that well. Oh, I've seen him go like 40s in mocks. I'm like, what's happening?
They have him at 63rd overall.
I don't get it, but yeah, it's nuts. Get out of here.
I want to see.
Might be better than Gardner, straight up. So, in my opinion, actually, I boy, if I had to like go into like bet, I mean, it's hard to bet against Booth for me because I love Andrew Booth, but like, if I had to really be like, listen, these two are going to be great players, like just give me Edelman and McDuffie. I'm pretty sure they're safest bets and they're really good anyway.
Yeah, that's like
I'm pretty sure they're safest bets. I'm not worried. Yeah, Braden said he's seen him in 60s.
Yeah, that's kind of like the draft for Marlon Humphrey. Yeah.
Oh, you mean in terms of like where he was projected to go?
It's like Marlon Humphrey wasn't getting that much hype in comparison to
and then he went top 20.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, well, and he turned out to be, I think,
until this year,
one of the Oh, who the heck was in that class? Holy cow. That was a good one. That was like, was that Lattimore's class?
It was Lattimore.
Okay. Oh, that means.
Yep.
Yeah, that was like.
Yep.
Yeah, this class is stupid. Go ahead. What's the? Because there were like 5 in the first, weren't there?
Lattimore, Humphrey.
Oh, this was Conley too.
Adoree Jackson.
Right.
Conley,
this is Conley.
White.
Well.
And then,
Trey White was in this. Yep.
And then Sidney Jones in the second too.
Oh yeah, Sidney Jones was in this class too. Holy cow,
boy, Quincy Wilson, Tease Tabor.
Oh, the Quincy Wilson pick. Cheeto was in it too.
And
that class was nuts. That class was nuts.
Not forget about Kevin.
I do remember in that class. I was like, well, Lattimore's good, Conley's good, but I do vaguely remember. And obviously these are hits. And like, hey, I'll be the first to tell you, like, I loved Gladney. That was a big L. I remember thinking kind of the same thing. Like, this is a deep class. I'd probably be willing to just bet Trey White and Humphrey and be okay with it. Like, they might not either of them be Lattimore, and I'm okay with that. Like, I feel it the same way with like Stingley, Booth, and Gardner, like leading the way. I'm kind of like, well, if I end up with Edelman or McDuffie, I feel pretty darn good about myself in general. Like, I'm fine with it, no problem.
There's one corner that I want to see this weekend to see if anything shows up that I didn't see on tape. And he was on the struggle bus at the Senior Bowl. I think you're a big fan of him.
Oh. At the Senior Bowl, he was a struggle bus?
Yes, I think you are a pretty big fan of him as well. Or were.
Oh, it's Kendrick, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to...
The running is going to be interesting.
I need to see his 40, because have you seen, like, the recruiting time for him?
Yep. It's not great. it's danger zone for sure.
I think I have like a late
Switching back to
third.
receiver? Question mark.
I don't know at this point because there's also the character concerns too. So where does he even go?
Yeah, I don't know. The Niners are going to have an interesting dilemma where they're
I
at
have
the
a big
second
one.
round. Where they're at the second round, I'm really concerned for them because I feel like this list is going to dwindle really fast. And it's like, well, I guess if Kobe Bryant doesn't test well, maybe we'll have a chance at that, or you swing for Woolen earlier than you probably should, question mark. Or they're just going to take Joshua Williams from Fayetteville State and be like, yeah, traits.
Indy for Williams.
Indy for Williams, you're calling it now?
Yes.
Third round? Third
or fourth. One of the
Third or fourth? I think he's playing his way in it. I think he's going to test into day 2. So, yeah. I was talking with a guy who I've known for a while who's a Colts fan, and he goes, if Pickens and Boye Mafe are on the board at 47, I'm going to lose my mind because I want both of them.
Why? This is a question I've had. Why do they think they need another edge?
I don't know. They want a Leo, right? Do they just hate their two guys?
I mean, Pace
Teray and Banagu, or not Leo? They're the rusher.
Yeah, Leo's for Seattle.
Well, Bradley's coming in.
Yeah, that is fair.
So
they're automatically.
I don't know what they're doing. That's the problem. Is like we don't know how they're going to draft because we don't know how they view Teray, Banagu and where they're going to play Pay.
I think Banagu's gone. I think Banagu's gone.
Yeah, so which spot is Pay going to play? That determines a lot. Then it's like, well, maybe Edge isn't play at 47. I don't know. That's a combo for another time. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this little long discussion after we went through the receivers, but this is fun. Good times.
Yes.
I'm excited draft season. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do during the first this year because website commitments. So have to get all the newsers out. But day 2, we will be on this channel again.
I think we'll be doing something for day 1, and
okay, there you go.
I'm hoping there won't be any hat throws. There was a walk out of the room during round 2 last year, so.
Really?
Yeah.
You walked out? Well, Creed? Just because of Creed, or just because?
Well.
Oh, you walked out because
yes.
Okay. See, I thought Myers over Humphrey made sense in terms of scheme, personally.
Yeah, for scheme wise, yes, but
again, Creed Humphrey falling that far was stupid. So yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed. We may come back tomorrow night, talk running backs and offensive line. Well, Mason, if you
I gotta cover a basketball game because
tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night. Saturday.
Saturday is in play. Yes.
Okay. Well, Mason, I bet Mason will be back in some capacity on this channel, on YouTube and live for the Packers or for the draft. We'll see. But Mason coming in clutch because Nate's in Texas traffic on his way back, so did not make it. That's okay. I know he was in here at some point. Thanks, Braden and Chris, and I know Joey was in here earlier, and all you guys who were watching. This was fun. Obviously wanted to talk receivers because it's the best position in my opinion.
It's so fun to evaluate.
And they just lit it up, and it was when they talk about this, they moving this to prime time, they were ready and did not disappoint. Running back's going to be fun tomorrow, like we talked about. There's really they are waiting for that one guy to just break out. I think the tight ends were kind of the same way, even though most people are still on the McBride train, but
McBride is likely.
This even more so. We know Hall, Walker, and Spiller are there near the top of everybody's board, but who's going to be the guy? Kyron is right there. I know a lot of people like Rashad White. Braden mentioned he is coming for the top 5, I think, as well. And Jerome Ford could potentially lead the way tomorrow in the little track version, the underwear 40 for the sprinters. So it should be fun. We're going to take off here. It's late, But appreciate you guys sticking around. Mason, once again, appreciate you coming on.
Yes, sir.
Oh, tell people where they can find you really quick.
You guys can find me on Twitter at Thompson22Mason, right for Primetime Sports Talk. That is PTST News. And
yeah. And once again, if you haven't watched the Skye Moore video, what are you doing? Go watch it right now because he's a great player.
Get his views. Give
me those views. Throw those likes down there. I need that for the algorithm. But yeah, this was fun. We'll be back with a lot more during draft season. The lives are fun. The interactions is a ton of fun. So hope to see you guys, I think, next week, potentially, after all the combine stuff is cleared. Nate and I will be on, I think, dropping receiver rankings.
Ooh.
Potentially final receiver rankings next week. I think also, if we do 2 next week, we might talk Jets and Giants both. Same episode. Big Apple episode. And we'll talk about why Giants fans are consistently complaining about offensive line. It is bad. It is bad.
The Giants fans are.
It's bad. But one of my guys in the draft could solve a lot of problems for them, and I'll get to that. That's a little teaser for next week. Yeah, thanks again, everybody, and we'll catch you guys very soon, I'm sure.
Yep.